Hello everybody and welcome back to the Up the Guts YouTube channel. So we're going to go through, we've done our series of where we've ranked each test, and if you haven't watched that, go back and watch the first test rankings, second, all the way through to the fifth test rankings. I see you guys have been enjoying those videos, so we'll keep doing that. And as I mentioned, if you watch the fifth test rankings video, I was going to do a whole thing where I was going to rank all players in a series as a whole. So that's exactly what we're here to do today. You're going to rank every player, whether they played one match or whether they played all five. They are all going to be ranked on a tier list. And without further ado, I'm going to flick it over to the tier list and I'll quickly go over the criteria for any new listeners that are listening. Apologies for people who have watched previously and already know the criteria, but it's always good just a little refresh to know where every rank on the tier list stands. So let me just flick that one over there and we'll get straight stuck into it. Alright, so now we've got this tier list up and running here on the screen. So I'll quickly go over the series. S tier is a 10 out of 10 performance for the series. A tier is anywhere from 8 to 9 out of 10 for the series. A B tier is a 7 out of 10. A C tier is anywhere from a 5 to 6 out of 10. So you've had a decent enough series. A D tier is a 3 or 4. E tier is a 1 or 2, and an F tier is a 0 out of 10. So without further ado, let's get into the rankings for the entire series as a whole, and we'll start off with the winning team, winning it 3-1, the Aussies. So we'll start off first with the Aussies. Usman Khawaja, first up, obviously opened the batting, played every game in the series, the 5 matches, made 184 runs at an average of 20.44. Had a high score of 57, really struggled this series. Obviously getting on there with age as well. I had Usman Khawaja in the D column. Next up for the first 3 matches, and it was a bold call, and it was a really brave call, and I really liked how they did it, but they went with Nathan McSweeney, who, excuse me, was probably stiff at the same time because he's never opened prior to that Australia A game. So they put him in the Australia A game as an opener for his preparation because that's who they were looking to go for. Played the 3 matches, made 72 runs at 14.4. Did look good for his high score of 39, but I gave him a E. So hopefully we can see Nathan McSweeney back in the Australian setup though in the near future, in that middle order, that from 4 to 6, anywhere between there. Next up, Marnus Labuschagne, 5 matches. He made 331 runs at 36.78, high score of 72. Looked really good at Melbourne, 72 and 70. But I thought, as a whole, struggled for majority of the series from the Marnus that we've known for the past few seasons. And was probably nearly on talks about being on the chopping blocks if we had other batters that could come in and take his spot, but there was probably just no one there to take him, so they stuck with him. Luckily they did, because in that in the Boxing Day test, made magnificent innings of 72 and 70. Was probably could have gone on to make 100 and would have boosted him up higher on these rankings of the series. But even though he made 331 runs, I had him in the D column because I just thought he was very inconsistent, but would be on top of Usman Khawaja. Next up, Steve Smith, 5 matches, made 314 runs at 34.89. High score of 140, made 200 of the series, but other than that, didn't really make runs. But I thought the 140 and that 100 were both sensational knocks. So I'm going to put Steve Smith in the C column. It's good to see he's got the captaincy role going over to Sri Lanka. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays over Sri Lanka and how he goes with the captaincy role back in his favour now with Pat Cummins sitting this series out. Travis Head started the series out like a house on fire. 5 matches, made 452 runs, leading run scorer at 56.5, a high score of 152. Took 2 wickets at the ball as well at 27 with best figures of 1 for 3. At one point, I was saying for the past 18 months, Travis Head is probably the informed batsman in the world. Probably could still argue that, but fell away late in the series. But the start of the series was just so unstoppable. Travis Head was. I'm sure the Indians were having nightmares at night thinking, geez, we've got to bowl to Travis Head the next day, knowing how quickly he can take a game away from the opposition. Travis Head goes in the A tier for his series. Next up, Mitch Marsh, 4 matches. He made 66 runs at 9.43 with a high score of 47. Did look good for his 47, might I add, so that probably boosted him up a little bit. Took 3 wickets at 46.33. His body just didn't allow him to bowl as much as he could, which was disappointment because it made the fast bowlers bowl a lot more than they probably needed to, as Nathan Lyon just didn't really bowl at all. Well, he bowled, but he didn't bowl anywhere near the amount that he normally bowls. So Mitch Marsh, I ended up giving a E, probably for that 47, but I wouldn't argue him being in the F-com, but I'll probably just put him a bit on top of Nathan McSweeney. Alex Carey, 5 matches, made 216 runs at an average of 36. 17 not out was his highest score. Took 20 catches behind the stumps. Also created 2 stumpings. That 70 not out was a really good inning. Pardon me, really good innings with the bat. Made starts in all innings, it just didn't go on with it, as you can see with the average of 36. But I thought he was respectable for most of the series, so I gave Alex Carey a C. Next up, we got Patrick Cummins, the skipper. 5 matches, 25 wickets in total. Sorry about that. 25 wickets in total at an average of 21.2. Best figures of 557, 159 runs at 19.86 with a high score of 49. So he was really good with the bat as well. Played some crucial innings that we've seen him play across the years. But for that one, I thought Patrick Cummins, I want to say he was the second leading wicket taker of the series, so I gave him an A. Next up, we have Mitchell Starc. Played all 5 matches, took 18 wickets at 28.28. Best figures of 6 for 48. Also made 97 runs with the bat with a high score of 26. Was a bit up and down, Mitchell Starc. His body let him down probably towards the end of the series, having a bit of side strain issues. But I thought it was solid in patches, especially that 6 for 48 period, and took some really crucial wickets at times. So I actually gave Mitch Starc a C. Next up, Nathan Lyon. Played all 5 matches, but as I mentioned earlier, didn't really get the chance to bowl as much as he normally would. Took the 9 wickets at an average of 48 though, with best figures of 3 for 96. Made 72 runs with the bat with a high score of 41. And it's probably not his fault that he didn't take as much wickets, because he just didn't get the opportunity to bowl as much. So for that reason, I put Nathan Lyon in the D column. Last player of the starting 11 coming from the first test is Josh Hazlewood. Now, he was a disappointment, Josh Hazlewood. His body just not holding up to it, and disallowed Scotty Boland to possibly have a full series at it. But not possibly, sorry, to actually have a full series at it. Only played 2 matches. Did look okay in those 2 matches, though, taking 6 wickets at 13.17 with best figures of 4 for 29, but purely just for his body not being able to hold up to the standards anymore, especially coming with his age, I gave him a D. Now, speaking of the man, Scotty Boland up next, and Scotty Boland for me goes straight in the A column, and I want to put him on top of the A column. Played the 3 matches, 21 wickets he took at an average of 13.17. 13.19 with best figures of 6 for 45. Build the man of stature at the MCG, build the man of stature now at the SCG, and it just shows how much we could have missed of. Could Scotty Boland have won the player of the series if he played all every test match? We'll never know, but Scotty Boland for me goes straight in the ACOM, no questions asked. Next up, the Sam Constance came in for the replacement of Nathan McSweeney to open the batting, and immediately started off with an impact with 60 in his first innings. Off crosses, 2 matches, made 113 runs at an average of 28.25. Created a live wire in the field, a different sort of scenario, a different sort of picture that Australia cricket team are used to, a bit younger, bit of youth. Was good to watch, created some controversy at the same time. I gave Sam Constance for his first 2 matches in Australian colours at just 19 years of age a C. And last but not least, the debutant for the 5th test, Bo the Slug Webster. Obviously only played the 1 match, made 96 runs in that the 5th test with a high score of 57, hit the winning runs, took a wicket as well. I thought Bo Webster goes straight in the A column. There you have it, guys. There are my rankings for the Australians across the all series. We'll quickly go over it. No one in the S tier, because I'm leaving that for one person and one person only. For the A tier, I've got Scotty Boland, Travis Head, Paddy Cummins, and Bo Webster. No one in the B tier. C tier, I've got Alex Carey, Stephen Smith, Mitchell Starc, and Sam Constance. D tier, Marnus Labuschagne, Usman Khawaja, Nathan Lyon, Josh Hazlewood. And in the E column, I have got Mitch Marsh and Nathan McSweeney. So there's the Aussies done. Now let's get stuck into the Indian rankings. All right, starting off with Jaiswal. 5 matches. Across all 5 matches, he made a total of 391 runs at 43.44 with a high score. And it was a magnificent innings of 161. Had some innings where he possibly could have pushed on and made it more hundreds, more runs, but just fell short. With questions about how he was going to be able to play the Australian wickets. but I thought he did an extremely job, and I gave Jaiswal a B. His opening partner for over half of the series, KL Rahul. Across the 5 matches, he made 276 runs at an average of 30.67 with a high score of 84, and I thought he accompanied Jaiswal really well when he was batting with him. Fell away late in their series, but for the time there, I think it warrants a C. Next up, we have got Patakal. He only played the 1 match and made 25 runs in that match. I believe it was a duck in the first inning, 25 in the second innings. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just purely for the fact he was dropped after the first test. It's got to go on the FT. Next up, Virat Kohli. Across the 5 matches, he's made 190 runs at 23.75, a high score of 100 not out. A down series for Virat Kohli. Made that 100 in the second innings of the first test, but other than that, didn't really trouble the scorers. But this is not done for Virat Kohli. There's a lot of statements going up that Virat Kohli should retire or India should push him on. He's Virat Kohli, for God's sake. He can call time when he feels it, and Virat Kohli could come out tomorrow and make 100, 150. He's still got the talent to dominate cricket. So Virat Kohli retires when Virat Kohli feels like he's not up to the stand anymore, and let me tell you, that is not right now. So but for this series, I gave Virat Kohli a D. Next up, we got Javel. 1 match, he made 12 runs and was dropped after the first test. Purely for that, he has to go in the F tier. Next up, we got Rishabh Pant behind the gloves and with the bat. 5 matches, 255 runs at 28.33, a high score of 61, a dashing 61 off just over 30 balls in the second innings of the 5th test. It was good watching that. Was good with the gloves, 25 catches and a run out. I thought was an up and down series for Rishabh Pant, obviously because we've seen him dominate with the bat over in Australia before when he was younger, and when he first came onto the scene in the earlier series. I think it's 2018, 2019, and I want to say 21, 22. Yeah, we saw him come and dominate, made hundreds over there. So the criteria for Rishabh Pant, not only from the Indians but the Aussies, probably Australian crowd is high. But it was a bit up and down, but we're still decent with the bat. You don't need to be making hundreds all the time, but I still feel that number 5 spot might not be for him. But for the series as a whole, I thought Rishabh Pant was solid. He can go in the C-Column. Next up, we have got Washington Sundar. Played the 3 matches as the all-rounder. 114 runs at 22.8 with a high score of 50. Took 3 wickets, didn't bowl as much, an average of 38.67. Best figures of 2 for 48. Was in and out of the side and wasn't really given the chance to bowl. There's no spinners are really given much of a chance to bowl this series, which was interesting. So for that reason, Washington Sundar goes in the D-Column. Next up, the find of the series for India and their future most possibly. Nitish Kumar Reddy, 5 matches as an all-rounder. 298 runs at 37.25, a high score of 114, his maiden test century. 6 wickets he also took at an average of 31.17 with figures of 2 for 37. This kid could be the future of India. He set the stone now. It's just how high the ceiling can go for him, and I think he might be a better batter than a bowler. So if he can adapt that more of a bowling and being able to take more wickets. Obviously, it's harder coming across the Australian wickets, so much different in India, but I'd love to, next time India play, I'd love to sit down and watch Nitish Kumar Reddy, see how he performs in Indian conditions as well. So, but I thought Nitish Kumar Reddy for that series I gave him a B. Next up, Harshit Raina, 2 matches. He took 4 wickets at 50.75. Best figures of 3 for 48. That 3 for 48 in the first test, he looked really good, but then got spanked in that second test and was dropped immediately after that. But purely because he was really good in that test, I actually gave him a D. Next up, Jasprit Bumrah. Is anything else need to be said about that one? Jasprit Bumrah, the player of the series, straight in the S column. He took 5 matches. He took 32 wickets at an average of just 13. Best figures are 6 for 76. Also made 40 runs with the bat with a high score of 21. He didn't even bowl in the last innings of the 5th test. Who knows what could have happened if he bowled in that last innings? Could we be talking about India with the retaining the Border Gavaskar Trophy right now? Who knows? I guess we'll never know, but there is no doubt that Jasprit Bumrah is the best bowler in the world, and he just proved it on Australian soil as well. So great series by Jasprit Bumrah. Fully accredited to a S column tier. Next up, we have got Mohammad Siraj, an up and down series. Mohammad Siraj was really good at some points, was down, was poor in other parts of the series. Without Mohammad Shami, someone to stand up, and he did take 20 wickets across the 5 matches at 30.07. Best figures are 4 for 98. So I actually gave him a B because I thought in patches he was really good, but then there was just too many ups and downs. But I'm happy to settle for a C if anyone wants to argue a C as well. Shubman Gill obviously had a delayed start to the series. Injured thumb, came in, then was dropped, then was brought back in, which shows the type of series he had. 93 runs across the 3 matches, an average of just 15.5, and a high score of 31. Shubman Gill goes into the year. He's still young and still a very, very classy batsman. Ravi Ashwin, now there's a lot to be talked about there, but 1 match, 1 wicket and 29 runs. He just goes straight in the E column because there's just, in the D column because there's just not enough there to talk about. I don't know what's going on there. Retiring mid-series is very interesting, so it must be something. It must have been something that went on behind the scenes. I guess maybe sometime we'll know. Maybe Ravi Ashwin will put out a book, and we'll hear it all then. But until then, we'll never know. Rohit Sharma, straight in the F tier. Across the 3 matches, he only managed 31 runs at an average of 8.17 and a high score of 10. As the skipper, that is appalling. And then dropping yourself in the last test as the skipper just shows the type of series you had. It's going to be the question now, does Rohit Sharma captain in the Champions Trophy, or does Jasprit Bumrah captain in the Champions Trophy? Because Jasprit Bumrah also not only India's best player, but was also really good when captaining. So it'll be interesting to see who actually is going to captain the Champions Trophy, Jasprit Bumrah or Rohit Sharma. And is Rohit Sharma's test days done? We'll have to wait and see for that one. Next up, Akash Deep. 2 matches, 5 wickets at 54. Best figures are 2 for 28. Made 38 runs with the bat as well, with a high score of 31. I thought he was a bit stiff, bowled nice areas, just didn't take as many wickets he would have liked, so I actually gave him a D tier. Ravindra Jadeja, a bit disappointing. 3 matches, 4 wickets at 54.5. Didn't bowl as much either. Best figures of 2 for 28. Best figures of 3 for 78. Made 137 runs at average of 34.25. Looked really good for his 77, and we thought this could be another series where Jadeja really shines with the bat, not just the ball. But in the end, he didn't shine either. After that 77, didn't take any poles, didn't make any much more runs. So for that reason, Jadeja goes in the D-com. And last but not least, we have got Krishna. Obviously came in for that last test, took 6 wickets for that test at an average of 17.83. Best figures of 3 for 42. I'm going to put him in the B tier for that. So let's quickly go over the rankings for the series. S tier is no other than the man in the series himself, the best bowler in the world, Jasprit Bumrah. A tier, Scotty Boland, Travis Head, Patrick Cummins, Bo Webster. B tier, Yashish Jaiswal, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Mohammad Siraj, and Prasidh Krishna. C tier, I got Alex Carey, Rishabh Pant, Steve Smith, Mitch Stark, Sam Constance, and KL Rahul. D tier, I got Marnus Labuschagne, Usman Khawaja, Nathan Lyon, Josh Hazlewood, Virat Kohli, Washington Sundar, Harshit Raina, Ravi Ashwin, Akash Deep, and Ravindra Jadeja. E tier, I've got Mitchell Marsh, Nathan McSweeney, and Shubman Gill. F tier, I have got Deval Petahol, apologies for the name pronunciation there, and Dhruv Javal, I've got in the F tier as well, and last but not least, Rohit Sharma. Well, there you have it, guys. There are my final rankings for the whole series of the Border Gavaskar Trophy, and that's another summer of cricket, Australian summer of cricket done. And haven't we been blessed with stuff? We've been blessed with ramping shots from Sam Constance. We've been blessed by a six from Scotty Boland. Now we go over to Sri Lanka. There's already some new inclusions over there with Cooper Conley getting a nod for the 15-man squad. So it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see the Sri Lanka. But as always, guys, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting across this whole summer test summer. All the rankings, that hasn't gone unnoticed. The views have been really up, and I see you guys have been engaging, so I really do appreciate that. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn that notification bell so you don't miss another upload from us, and send it to a friend who you might think could enjoy this video as well, and get in the comments, comment what you think I got right, what I got wrong. Let's get some more debates going, because it was a great summer of cricket. But until the next video, guys, thank you, and I'll see you then.